My beloved friends, let me ask you something that will shake the very foundations of how you see yourself. What if I told you that the greatest secret of existence is not hidden in the heavens, not locked away in sacred texts, not whispered only to prophets, but is standing right here, breathing, thinking, wondering within you? What if the mystery you've been searching for in temples and prayers, in meditation and pilgrimage, has been staring back at you from the mirror every single morning? The hidden treasure theory, the sacred tradition that says, I was a hidden treasure, and I love to be known, so I created the creation. Think deeply about these words. The divine did not create merely to display power. No, the creation is an act of love, a longing to be witnessed, to be known, to be reflected. But who can truly reflect the divine? The mountains, they declare his majesty. The oceans, they sing of his vastness. The stars, they point to his beauty. But only one creation carries within itself the capacity to know the divine, to comprehend him, to become a conscious mirror of all his attributes. That creation is you, the human being. Al-Insan al-Kamil, the complete human. You are the secret, me brothers and sisters. Hear me clearly. The human being is the greatest secret of God. You are not a random accident in a purposeless universe. You are not merely flesh and bone wandering through life. You are the very purpose for which the cosmos was brought into being. Within you exists every attribute of the divine, his knowledge, reflected in your consciousness, his creativity, flowing through your imagination, his mercy, beating in your compassionate heart, his power, dormant in your potential, his beauty, shining through your soul. When God wanted to see himself, he created you. You are the pupil of the eye through which the divine witnesses his own glory. But here is the paradox, the beautiful mystery. A mirror does not claim to be the sun, even though it reflects the sun's light. It does not say, I am the source of this brilliance. Similarly, we are mirrors of the divine, not the divine itself. We reflect his attributes without being him. This is the delicate balance, Wahdat, al-Wujud, the unity of being, where creation and creator are distinct yet intimately connected. When you act with mercy, it is God's mercy flowing through you. When you create beauty, it is God's beauty manifesting in form. When you love deeply, it is the divine love expressing itself in the world. You are the bridge between the seen and the unseen, between heaven and earth, between the temporal and the eternal. The tragedy of forgetting, yet look at how we live. We have forgotten who we are. We chase after fleeting pleasures. We accumulate possessions. We seek validation from others, all while carrying the divine secret within us. It is like a prince who has forgotten his royal lineage and begs in the streets, not knowing that kingdoms belong to him. We search for God in distant places, when he is closer to us than our jugular vein. We seek meaning in external achievements, when the greatest meaning pulses with every heartbeat. The path of awakening. So, what must we do? How do we awaken to this truth? First, know yourself. As the Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, said, whoever knows himself knows his Lord. Look within. Polish the mirror of your heart through spiritual practice, through removing the rust of ego and ignorance. Second, see the divine in all creation. When you truly understand that you are a manifestation of God, you will see that same divine presence in every human being, in every creature, in every leaf and stone. The one who hurts another hurts himself. The one who serves creation serves the Creator. Third, live with purpose. You are not here by accident. You are here to be a conscious witness to the divine, to manifest his attributes of compassion, justice, beauty, and wisdom in this world. You are here to be his representative on earth. When you realize this truth, that you are the secret of God, a profound freedom awakens within you. You are no longer limited by your circumstances, because you carry infinity within you. You are no longer afraid of death, because you recognize your eternal nature. You are no longer separate from the divine, because you understand yourself as his conscious manifestation. This is not arrogance. This is the deepest humility. For in recognizing that all your gifts come from the source, that all your beauty is reflected light, you surrender completely to the one who gives existence to all. My beloved friends, as you leave this gathering today, I want you to remember one thing. You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. Every breath you take is a divine breath. Every thought you think is a divine thought thinking itself. Every act of love you perform is God loving Himself through you. This is the greatest secret, the supreme mystery. Al-Insan Sir Allah, the human being, is the secret of God, not hidden from you, but hidden within you, waiting for you to awaken. So wake up, remember who you are, and live as the divine mirror you were always meant to be. When we speak of the human being as a divine mirror, we are touching upon one of the most profound realizations in mystical philosophy. This is not merely a poetic metaphor, but a fundamental truth about the nature of human existence and consciousness. Every attribute that we associate with the divine finds its reflection, its echo, its manifestation within the human soul. Consider for a moment the attribute of knowledge. God is Al-Alam, the all-knowing, and within you resides the capacity to know, to learn, to comprehend the mysteries of existence. Your consciousness is not an accident of evolution, but a deliberate reflection of divine consciousness itself. When you think, when you understand, when you piece together the patterns of reality, you are participating in the divine act of knowing. The same principle applies to creativity. God is all-khaliq, the creator, and this creative force flows through you in every moment. When an artist paints, a poet writes, a musician composes, or even when a simple person finds an innovative solution to a problem, they are channeling the divine creative attribute. This is why creation brings such profound satisfaction to the human soul. It reconnects us with our essential nature as reflections of the ultimate creator. We are not merely consuming existence. We are co-creating it, manifesting new possibilities, bringing into form what existed only as potential. Mercy, A.R. Rahman, represents another dimension of this divine mirroring. The capacity for compassion that exists within the human heart is not something we invented or developed through social conditioning alone. It is a reflection of the infinite mercy that sustains all of existence. When a mother comfortably cares for her child through sleepless nights, when a stranger helps someone in need without expectation of reward, when forgiveness replaces vengeance in the human heart, these are not merely good behaviors, but manifestations of divine mercy working through human consciousness. The warmth you feel when you act with kindness is the recognition of your true nature aligning with its source. Beauty, Al-Jamil, shines through humanity in ways both obvious and subtle. The appreciation of beauty itself is a divine quality. When you stand before a sunset and feel something stir in your soul, when music moves you to tears, when you recognize the elegance in a mathematical equation or the grace in a simple act of kindness, you are experiencing your divine nature. God is beautiful and loves beauty, and this love of beauty implanted within you is the divine loving Himself through your perception. You are the eye through which the universe witnesses its own splendor. What makes the human being unique among all creatures is not just that these attributes exist within us, but that we possess the consciousness to recognize them, to cultivate them, to choose to express them. A lion has power, but it does not contemplate the nature of power. A flower has beauty, but it does not appreciate beauty. The human being alone can be a conscious mirror, aware of what is being reflected, able to polish that mirror to reflect with greater clarity and purity. This understanding fundamentally transforms our relationship with ourselves and our purpose in existence. When you realize that you are a divine mirror, shame and self-hatred become impossible, for they would be rejecting the divine reflection itself. At the same time, arrogance becomes equally impossible, because you understand that everything you are and everything you have is a gift, a reflection of something infinitely greater than your individual self. You are simultaneously insignificant, a tiny speck in an infinite cosmos, and supremely significant, the very purpose for which that cosmos was created. This paradox is not a contradiction, but the truth of your existence, held in perfect balance. To grasp the profound mystery of Wahdat al-Wujud, the unity of being, we must train our minds to hold to seemingly contradictory truths simultaneously. This is not a logical impossibility, but rather a limitation of our dualistic thinking that divides reality into rigid categories of either or. The mystical vision transcends this limitation and perceives a reality where unity and multiplicity, oneness and distinction, exist not as opposites, but as complementary aspects of a singular truth. Consider the ocean and the wave. Is the wave separate from the ocean? In one sense, yes, we can point to a wave and distinguish it from other waves, give it characteristics, observe its rise and fall. Yet in a deeper sense, the wave is nothing but ocean. It has no independent existence apart from the water that constitutes it. The wave does not contain something other than ocean. It is ocean in a particular form, a temporary manifestation of the greater whole. This is precisely the relationship between creation and creator, between you and the divine. You are distinct. You have individual characteristics, a unique perspective, a specific form and function in the grand tapestry of existence. Your experiences are yours. Your thoughts arise in your consciousness. Your choices shape your path. This individuality is real, not an illusion to be dismissed, yet simultaneously, your very existence, the substance of your being, the consciousness that animates you, the life force that flows through you, all of this is nothing other than divine reality manifesting in a particular form. You do not possess existence independently. You are a mode of existence, a wave in the infinite ocean of being. The mirror metaphor illuminates this paradox beautifully. When you stand before a mirror, you see your reflection. The reflection is not you. You cannot shake hands with it. It has no independent existence outside the mirror. Yet the reflection is not entirely separate from you either, for it derives everything it has from you. Without you, there is no reflection. The reflection depends utterly on your presence, your light, your form. Now consider that the mirror, in this analogy, represents creation itself, and the reflection is the divine manifesting in form. The divine does not become the creation, just as you do not become the reflection. The creation has no independent existence, just as the reflection cannot exist without that which it reflects. Yet the creation is real within its own domain, just as the reflection is a real appearance in the mirror. This understanding protects us from two dangerous extremes. On one hand, it saves us from the error of absolute separation, the notion that God is completely transcendent, utterly removed from His creation, having no intimate connection with the world He made. Such a view leads to a cold, mechanical universe where the divine is an absent watchmaker who set things in motion and walked away. It makes prayer seem pointless, devotion hollow, spiritual experience impossible. If God is absolutely separate, then the distance between you and Him is infinite and unbridgeable. On the other hand, this understanding also protects us from the error of conflation, the confusion of thinking that we are God in the absolute sense, that our individual will is the divine will, that our limited understanding encompasses infinite wisdom. Such a view leads to spiritual arrogance, moral chaos, and the inflation of the ego to catastrophic proportions. The beauty of Wahdat al-Wujud is that it holds the tension between these extremes with perfect balance. God is transcendent, beyond all forms and limitations, yet He is also immanent, present in every atom of existence, closer to you than your own breath. You are not God. You do not possess His absolute attributes. You remain a creature dependent on the Creator. Yet you are not separate from God either, for your existence is His existence particularized, His light filtered through the prism of your unique form. This is why the mystic can say with complete sincerity, both I am nothing and I am everything, understanding that these statements do not contradict, but rather illuminate different facets of the same diamond of truth, the ancient wisdom inscribed at the temple of Delphi. Know thyself echoes through millennia not as mere philosophical advice, but as the fundamental key to unlocking the greatest mystery of existence. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, crystallized this truth with profound clarity when he said, "Whoever knows himself knows his Lord." This is not a metaphorical statement or spiritual poetry meant to inspire, but a precise description of spiritual reality. The path to knowing God does not begin in the heavens, in sacred texts alone, or in the teachings of masters, though all these have their place. The path begins in the last place most people think to look, within themselves. We spend our lives gazing outward, searching for meaning in achievements, relationships, possessions, experiences, always looking to the next thing that might finally satisfy the deep longing in our souls. We read countless books about spirituality, attend lectures and seminars, travel to holy sites, perform rituals and practices, all the while treating ourselves as the starting point we must transcend rather than the destination we must discover. Yet the entire spiritual journey encoded within your own being. Every question you have about God, every attribute you wish to understand, every quality you seek to experience, already exists within you in seed form. You are not searching for something foreign or distant. You are uncovering what has always been present, removing the layers of ignorance and conditioning that obscure your true nature. Think of a mirror that has become covered with dust, rust, and grime over years of neglect. The mirror has not lost its essential nature as a reflective surface. The capacity to reflect remains inherent in it. What is needed is not to create reflection where none exists, but to clean away what obscures the reflection that is always already there. Your heart is that mirror, and the dust accumulating upon it consists of everything that makes you forget your true nature, the ego's endless demands, the mind's restless chatter, attachment to fleeting pleasures, identification with passing thoughts and emotions, the accumulated conditioning of society and culture that tells you who you should be rather than revealing who you are. When Ibn Arabi speaks of self-knowledge, he is not referring to the superficial knowledge of your personality traits, your likes and dislikes, your strengths and weaknesses in the worldly sense. He means something far deeper, knowledge of the essential reality of your being, the consciousness that witnesses all experiences but is not identical with any of them, the existence that persists beneath all changing states, the divine spark that animates your form. This knowledge comes not through intellectual analysis alone, though the intellect has its role, but through direct experience, through turning the attention inward with patient persistence, through the polishing of the heart that occurs in meditation, prayer, contemplation, and sincere spiritual practice. Each moment of genuine self-observation, each instance of catching yourself in mechanical reaction and choosing conscious response instead, each time you witness your thoughts without being carried away by them, you are polishing the mirror. Each act of surrendering the ego's demands, each sacrifice of a lesser pleasure for a higher purpose, each moment of genuine presence rather than distraction, removes another layer of rust. As the mirror becomes clearer, something remarkable happens. You begin to see that what you thought was you, the collection of thoughts, memories, desires, fears, and identifications, is actually a costume worn by something much vaster. The sense of being a separate, isolated entity begins to dissolve, not into oblivion, but into recognition of your true nature. You discover that the consciousness looking through your eyes is not different in essence from the consciousness that animates all beings, that the existence you experience as I am is a localized expression of the universal I am that underlies all reality. This is not a philosophical conclusion reached through reasoning, but a lived experience, a direct knowing that transforms everything. When you know yourself in this deep sense, you simultaneously know God, because the knower, the known, and the knowing are revealed as one. The subject-object duality that structures ordinary experience collapses into non-dual awareness where self and divine are recognized as to names for the same reality viewed from different perspectives. This is why all authentic spiritual traditions, despite their external differences, point toward introspection and self-examination as essential practices. The kingdom of heaven is within you, not as a location, but as your essential nature. The divine you seek in the external world is the divine seeking himself through you in the internal world.